Well, good afternoon. I almost said good morning. Oh, breathe. Ernest Holmes, in his Thoughts Are Things, says that the body, your body, is a temple of the living spirit. It is spiritual substance. I'm going to say that again. Your body, my body, all of our bodies are temples of the living spirit. It is spiritual substance. But do we treat our bodies like temples? Do we? Really? We do if we truly love ourselves. The problem is that if people don't really like themselves, and if they identify their body as themselves, then they totally take out all that not okayness on their physical form. They take out all their frustrations on their physical form. Now, think about how we use our bodies. Some of us use them to carry our head around. We never worry about what's going on below the neck. We want to taste stuff, and we want to carry our mind from one place to another place. Hi, Gail. Hi, Jim and Rita. You want to carry your head from one place to another so that you can talk to somebody, so that you can work on your computer. But from here down, we're not paying much attention. And when our body tries to get our attention with a headache, saying you're overworking, what do? We take an aspirin and Excedrin and Tylenol. I take ibuprofen. And we keep working. If our body tries to get our attention by giving us hip pains or low back pains or whatever kind of pains from sitting at the computer too long, what do? Do we get up from the computer and go exercise or take a walk? Not usually. We take some analgesic cream and we keep working at the computer. That's what I mean about using your body to carry your head around. Some of us use our bodies like we're some kind of a mule or pack animal, and we overload ourselves with way too much stuff. Back in the when I was in my 40s, that was a long time ago, and when I was going out to California, actually I was in my 30s, I would leave Tulsa with 2 suitcases, one large, one small, a handbag under my arm, a backpack, and usually some kind of a musical instrument. On the way back, I can clearly remember I would have 2 bags, a backpack, something under my arm, a hat, a scroll of posters, and my musical instrument, and I was hobbling my way through the airport. Our bodies are not pack animals, and we should never treat them as such. What about when we decide that we're really frustrated or upset or angry, or we want a comfort food, and we reach for our nachos or our Fritos and our Cokes and our Diet Pepsis and our Dr. Peppers and our, knowing full well that if we were really on a health regime, we would never touch any of that stuff. But now we want to do it to make ourselves feel better, ourselves, and let our bodies go to you know where. Why do we treat the body temple that way? Because we don't think of it that way. That's why. It's not a matter of saying, I'm metaphysical, I can do anything I want because mind over matter, I'll just think myself healthy. We were given a sacred temple to take care of. We're the caretakers of this wonderful, organic, amazing temple, wonderful thing. We're caretakers. It's not meant to be abused. Chris Crowley, in his Younger Than Next Year, he says, life is energy, and that's all that matters to nature. And your body looks to you to choose between growth and decay. Now, how do we choose between growth and decay? Well, we all know in here, in these teachings, that positive feelings are growth giving. They bring in great energy. They give our bodies health and vitality and divine flow. And negative emotions have the opposite effect. They tear us down. They start us into decay. So as Chris Crowley continues, he says, think about what your body learned from you while you lived today, about whether you told your body to grow or decay. Our bodies are sacred temples, and yet religion has played a terrible role in this. Think about the yogis in India that go off into the desert or the jungle or wherever they go, and they starve themselves. They deny themselves comfort of any kind, food, a little bit of water and bread. They're all skin and bones sitting in a lotus position. Yeah, they're meditating and they're trying to, but what's the idea here? Get rid of the body so that I can join the universe. That's not actually the way it works. It's designed to work, but it can work because obviously they've been doing it for centuries. Or think about monks and nuns and all religions, Buddhist monks too, that deny themselves healthy sexuality in the name of spiritual development. And yet sexuality is life force energy flowing through us. It's not something to be pushed aside and said it's the work of the devil, it's temptation, it's original sin. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's original life force energy that comes through the body. We were given these bodies for a reason. They, as Ernest said, they are the sacred temple. They are an expression of God's life force. Now, looking at the science side of this, the psychological science of this, have you ever tried to change your mind only to find that your mind had a mind of its own? I have. I'm sure you all have. We decide, we make a New Year's resolution or whatever, and we say, I'm going to go on a diet. I want to lose 10 pounds or more. And then we find ourselves snacking. We go, wait a minute, stop that, stop that. I want to lose 10 pounds. I'm going on a diet. Where's that snacking coming from? It's not the conscious mind. And when you have the conscious mind and the subconscious mind at odds with each other, guess who wins? This one, the subconscious. 90% of our waking state is subconscious, and we're just driven by habits. I'll be driving down the street or the highway if it's a familiar time. For instance, have you ever been driving down and all of a sudden you realize you missed your turnoff or you missed where you were going? Come on, don't look at me with just, now, how many times have you done that? Just last week, I'm driving down. Now, I know exactly where Randy lives. I found myself down at Lewis when I came to from my subconscious chatter, not paying attention at all to where I was. And I'm driving down 36th, and all of a sudden my brain registers that I'm at Lewis and 36th. I've already gone a mile out of my way. I had to turn around and come back. He was very gracious about it. He was standing out there waiting for me. I don't know if he noticed my car go by and went, where are you going, Chris? But I was off someplace else, right? I've done that way too many times, and not just getting old. I used to do that in my 20s and 30s too. So we have to realize then that if our subconscious has such a strong control on what we do and how we behave, that we need to look at that a little closer. Where do those subconscious beliefs come from? What is that going on? Our subconscious beliefs and understandings do not always agree with the conscious mind, and most of them were put in there when we were children. I've talked about that in other talks. 0 to 7 We are kind of blank slates except for what we came in with. And so we pick up, what's this world like? And everybody that tells us something, we start buying into it. But what if they tell us, shame on you? What's wrong with you? A lot. What do we pick up? Oh, there's something wrong with me. And as an adult, that gets translated into, I'm not worthy of success. What if they tell us as children, why can't you behave? Don't you have the sense you were born with? An adult, then subconsciously that's still in there. And the adult comes off with, I can't do anything right. I'm not good enough. Now, that's not necessarily conscious thinking. That's what's down there in that morass of the subconscious mind. So when our conscious mind is trying to affirm and affirm, I'm a holy child of God, I'm a holy child of God, I'm a holy child of God, and this one's over there going, no, you're not good enough. You got to do a lot of these to overcome that until you get the two sides talking to each other. We can do that, but we have to do that. We have to make friends with our bodies. Negative talk can be just as harmful as taking slow poison. Negative self-talk can be just as harmful as taking slow poison. And think about everything that your body is trying to do for you. We eat junk food and the body does its very best to stabilize and balance out all that imbalance and give us the day we need, the energy we need, the mental clarity we need, so forth. We overwork ourselves and the body tries its best to get us through that, get the circulation going as best it can, get us to move a certain way so maybe something pops in our neck or whatever. Our body is always trying to help us. And what do? We don't think of ourselves as a sacred temple. We say, what's wrong with me? Man, my neck just hurts. This body's getting old. Well, how do you think that makes the body feel? It's doing the very, very best it can with all the garbage we do to it and the negative emotions and the negative thoughts we have. And it's, don't you love me? Can't I do anything right? And what that translates to is, I'm unlovable. Even as adults, this emotion can be very present in our subconscious mind. I'm unlovable. And then we outpicture it into the world. You know, they did a lot of studies with plants. I know some of you have seen this on YouTube and on internet. They put plastic cups with seeds in them. This was a homegrown variety one. They put, one said stupid, one said love, and the other one was more neutral, or was left blank, I guess, just for the experiment. And what do you think happened? Oh, and then each day the children, because this was a mother giving her kids a chance to see what happens with all those mean things that people say to each other, especially children say to other children. So she had her kids come in and say to the one plant, you're stupid, several times every day. And the other one, it's get, I love you, I love you, I love you. And the other one, they didn't say anything to. And guess what? At the end of 3 weeks, the one that had love was twice as tall as the neutral one, and the other one had barely started to grow. You can do this in your own house if you want to be nasty to one seed. We do this to ourselves. We've got to stop. We don't have to. We can love our bodies. Our bodies are sacred temples, the dwelling place of the Most High. We can love ourselves. We can love our bodies. We must learn to appreciate what our bodies are doing. And of course, what we really have to do is stop thinking of ourselves as a body. We are spiritual beings having an earthly plane experience, and these bodies help us be seen. When I sing later this month, I will be singing a song I wrote about that. But it's we don't feel confident with ourselves. We blame our bodies. And how do we do that? We blame our bodies by measuring ourselves up to unrealistic and inflated standards of beauty in our society. Every time you say to yourself, I'm too fat, or I'm too skinny, or I'm too old, I got too many wrinkles, oh, I found a gray hair. Of course, in this group, that's probably pretty common because I got tons of them under the color here. But it's the whole issue is when we find fault with our bodies, what are we doing? We are measuring ourselves against unrealistic and exaggerated standards of society of beauty. Even most of those models in the magazines have been airbrushed somewhere. That is not a healthy thing to be doing. If instead we say, oh, I love this body. I love my body. My God, it's so beautiful. It's so healthy. It carries me around. I get to interact with people. I get to hug people with this wonderful body of mine. My heart keeps beating every day. My lungs keep breathing in the air. I'm so fortunate to have a beautiful body like this. Hug yourself for a minute, just a minute, and see how good that feels. And mean it. I love myself. I love myself. I love this wonderful body. All of it. Like the song we sang a couple weeks ago. I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. From my belly to my hips to, you know, all that one. Ernest Holmes says, since the Spirit of God has entered into your being, your life is spiritual. The Supreme Being, ever present, exists at the very center of your thought. This presence within you has the power to make all things new. Isn't that a wonderful promise? If we can turn this around anytime we want. If we realize, man, I've been ragging on my body and that's not fair, we can turn it around. And I guarantee you that if you start praising your body on a daily basis without going back to old habits, got to create a new one here. If you keep praising your body over 100 days, you're going to see a whole new body in the mirror. Those wrinkles are going to be gone. There's going to be more tautness in the skin. Your body's going to be in a healthier state. You're going to stand taller and straighter and prouder, and you're going to have fewer problems. Appreciation and gratitude go a long way. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. And God did not create junk. Joel Goldsmith puts it a different way, but same message. The truth about you is that you are the child of God. God has expressed itself on earth individually as you. The life which is God is your individual life, and it is eternal and immortal. God is your very being, and even your body is the temple of the living God. So it's our choice. And I want to finish here with a little story by Scott Aubrey. There's a story about 3 brick masons who were working together on a project. And when someone came by and asked them what they were doing, the first man said gruffly, I'm laying bricks. And the second man said, I'm building a wall. And the third man stood up proudly and he said, I'm building a cathedral. Our lives are for the purpose of making them cathedrals, making them temples of the divine which dwells within. The ground upon which we walk is holy. We all carry around potential. What are we teaching our bodies each and every day with the thoughts and the feelings that we have? What are we teaching our bodies every day by the thoughts and the things we say to ourselves about our bodies? Are we building a wall, laying bricks, or are we building a cathedral? The choice is ours. Have a good week.